capacity which we require during the daytime. 4200 is the average peak time demand which we are anticipating in the recent average of 2 weeks past. So as a thumb rule, എത്രയാണോ നമ്മളുടെ capacity addition or the demand, അതിൻ്റെ ഒരു 20 to 25% can be injected as the solar energy or the renewable energy injection as a safe level. So ഒരു 3000 megawatt ആണ് 3000 megawatt ആണ് daytime demand എങ്കിൽ, because the solar injection is only during the daytime. അതിൽ വിൻഡ് ഉണ്ട്, ഓഫ് കോഴ്സ് നൈറ്റ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ തന്നെയും നമ്മളുടെ ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ അഡീഷൻ 72 മെഗാവാട്ട് ആണ്. ദ ടോട്ടൽ വിൻഡ് കപ്പാസിറ്റി ആഡഡ് ടു ദ ഗ്രിഡ്. ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞ 605 മെഗാവാട്ട് ഈ 72 കൂടാതാണ്. അപ്പം റിന്യൂവബിൾ എനർജി ആസ് എ ടോട്ടൽ വി ക്യാൻ സേ 675 മെഗാവാട്ട് ഹാസ് ബീൻ ആഡഡ്. ഇവിടുത്തെ ചലഞ്ച് 20 to 25% ആണ് സേഫ് ഇഞ്ചക്ഷൻ എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ we can inject maximum 1000 megawatt into the system safely to have a better stability of the system. അങ്ങനെയെങ്കിൽ already we reached 700. So we have to go another 300 megawatt into the system safely so as to run the present infrastructure and present demand. അപ്പോൾ 1000 megawatt ഇഞ്ചക്ട് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഗ്രിഡ് സ്റ്റെബിലിറ്റി നഷ്ടപ്പെടുമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ what is the solution? നമ്മുടെ ഗ്രിഡിനെ സ്റ്റെബിലൈസ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി we have to foresee certain measures. അതിൽ മെയിനായിട്ട് റിന്യൂവബിൾ എനർജി ഇഞ്ചക്ട് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് ഇവിടെ വരിക? ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് ഹാർമോണിക്സ് വിൽ ബി ഇൻട്രൊഡ്യൂസ്ഡ് ഇൻ ദ സിസ്റ്റം. DC injection will be there. So everything will make the power factor as well as the swing voltage high as well as the current injection, everything in a non-stabilized manner. അപ്പോൾ ഇതൊക്കെ മിറ്റിഗേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി you have to install either capacitor banks or series or shunt inductance or SVCs, both inductance as well as the capacitance put together. അപ്പോൾ ഇതിൻ്റെ എല്ലാം എക്സ്പെൻസ് ആക്ച്വലി ഇലക്ട്രിസിറ്റി ബോർഡ് എന്ന യൂട്ടിലിറ്റി ഹാസ് ടു മേക്ക് അപ്പ്. ഏത് എക്സ്പെൻസ് ഇലക്ട്രിസിറ്റി മീറ്റ് ചെയ്താലും ഇൻക്ലൂഡിങ് ദ സാലറി ഓഫ് ദ സ്റ്റാഫ്, whatever it is, will be put up before the regulatory commission as the aggregate revenue requirement, and ultimately it will be coming in the tariff, no doubt about it. So this is the problem of the stability at the outset. So before starting the detailed discussion with other panelists, in fact Mr. Harimasa will be my moderator in all the talks. Now there is a change. Transition has taken place in the moderator. It's very strict in timing. Always I used to say that he will not give 5 minutes, means he will make a system on, and 5 minutes he will cut off. I think he will give a little relaxation. So the subject is challenge. When you come to the challenge, and before starting a discussion, identify what are the challenges presently in the system. First one, Kerala is a space constrained state, not like Gujarat. We met some Gujarat team yesterday. 7 discoms are there, and 7 discoms are equivalent to area of Kerala multiplied by 7. And we have a coastal belt alone. Coastal belt, actually solar is not a solution, but wind is a solution. Unfortunately, we could not add up wind much. Only 72 megawatt is there. Myself, Arima sir and Anand and all made a discussion with our chief secretary, and he was saying, Tamil Nadu, you have 1500, they have added up already. You have a potential of 2000 megawatt in wind. Are you sleeping there? Why can't you build up some 1500 megawatt? It is also a big question over us. So this coastal belt is there. On the other way, certain areas which are greeny, shades are there, and other buildings, many government buildings, and only the rooftop can be availed for setting up the projects. Of course, other than that, ground-mounted projects are there, floating solar projects are there, PM Kusum scheme and all from the central government. Everything is running through, but it is just started, and we are adding up. So one of the constraints is that the area which is available in the rooftops. Second one constraint, what we are facing is that the cost of the modules, panels, actually what we see is that electronic items or electrical items, whenever the time comes down, the price is supposed to come down. But here, there is a reverse phenomena is happening. It was 23, now it is going up to 25. So all the developers which we are discussing, they are crying like, sir, how we can be there. And 65 megawatt is a per 65,000 rupees is the per kilowatt cost. Now we have matched L1. And all this, and the price is going up. It was 47, it has come to 50, now 55, 60, and the last one running is 65. We are afraid to make a new tender. I am 100% sure that if a new tender goes on, ultimately the cost will hike or jump from 65,000 to 70,000 rupees. Our developers will hike it off. This is not because of their problem. One of the problem is the cost of the steel. When a labor is getting from the other states for 500 rupees, here it is 1000 or 1100 rupees per day. How the developers can manage? The steel cost is one constraint. Module is there again. Unavailability of the materials and the transportation. Everything is coming through. Even though the COVID, we are not talking about COVID. പക്ഷേ ആ കോവിഡ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നപ്പോൾ തന്നെ ഉള്ള ആ ഹാങ് ഓവർ എല്ലാം സ്റ്റിൽ ദെയർ. ദിസ് ഈസ് ദ സെക്കൻഡ് റൂഫ് ടോപ്പ് ഓർ സോളാർ ചലഞ്ചസ്. ദെൻ ഫ്രം KCB experience, we have time limit ചെയ്യണം. From KCB experience, actually what we did is, we made a first tender. Every developer quoted only for a capacity above 3 kilowatt. We got 50,000 per kilowatt, happy. Where is that? Our Tata people are there, the Hondas, very many developers were there. Unfortunately, when our common public, they made a registration up to 3 kilowatt. 3 kilowatt having a subsidy of 40%. Above 3 kilowatt is only having 20%. So everybody have an interest run up for the 3 kilowatt or even 2 kilowatt. Many 1 kilowatt registrations were there. There were no developers to take that project. All the developers were willing to take up the projects above 3 kilowatt because they are having profit on that side only. So we have no other goal but to force and land on another tender which we had clearly specified that nobody will be entertained above 3 kilowatt. Only 3 kilowatt will be, up to 3 kilowatt will be at the time. Then the cost we saw, the minimum quoted was 65,000 rupees per kilowatt. All other 38 developers quoted above that. You just think over. So we made an L1 matching and make all the developers to match with the 65 and fix their rate. We don't have any say, I'm sorry. The same way, Gujarat has added up 5 times Kerala. Yes, agreed. 47,000 is a running rate at Gujarat. That is why it is being added up. Then as a curiosity, we asked them, sir, what is your per unit cost? Retail price of the tariff in the domestic sector. Believe me, it is 7 rupees per unit. We are giving 3.5 for less than 100. For less than 100. So, why 7 unit is the price in Kerala? I am sure that 80% of the people will rush in here. If the tariff is 7 and the cost is 47,000 per kilowatt, you see, you just imagine how much it will be the rush here. Here what is the case? Tariff is 3.5 per unit for the domestic and the price is 65,000. Here this is the contradiction. This is the point, this is the crux of discussion we have to here. This is the challenge in Kerala. Maybe in Maharashtra and Gujarat, they are having a plus. But the challenge, what we are facing here in Kerala is on this ground. So how to mitigate this? Will the steel price be reduced? Will the price of the panels be reduced? Will the developer will quote a price below 65,000? I am sure that will be floating a tender in next March. But it will be more than 65,000 for sure. Now there is a new MNRE portal. Developers have started uploading their price. It is 80,000 and above. You just get from it. So the biggest challenge. That we have to see how it has to be mitigated. Now number 3, DCR panels. Actually the non-availability MNRE subsidy will be given to only those people who are having DCR content modules. But in India now, DCR content modules only Tata is having now. Other they are not having. But Tata will not take any work below 3 kilowatt because they are empaneled only above 3 kilowatt. And all the S3 developers now running, the 38 people, they don't have a monocrystalline modules. So a consumer, a prosumer, a beneficiary who wanted to install or he would like to install a monocrystalline panel, how he can go for it? It is not there. It is only with some sort of that should change. This is again another challenge. Now I heard that Adani is coming up. 1 or 2 is not enough. Now mono per half cut, bifacial panel, heterogeneous panel, thin film and PV technology together. These are all there now. You can see in many of the pavilions, these are displayed. Even if we cannot think a mono PERC or mono half cut panel now, how we can dream of a bifacial panel or a heterogeneous panel in the meanwhile. So this is one of the challenge. So many industries has to come up with the mono PERC or bifacial or hetero, half cut, whatever it is, to cater the consumers DCR panels and get the 40% subsidy. Or else what they will do? Other than Saura and all the projects, people will shift over to private projects because there is no restriction there. And private projects, without DCR content, the cost of the panel, cost is very less. Without DCR panel, you will get for a very less cost. This is what my understanding is there. This is the another challenge of that. Now, എല്ലാ ദൃശ്യ ശ്രവ്യ മാധ്യമങ്ങളും ഗ്രോസ് മീറ്ററിങ്ങിനെ കുറിച്ചും നെറ്റ് ബില്ലിങ്ങിനെ കുറിച്ചും ഒരുപാട് വിമർശനം ഇലക്ട്രിസിറ്റി ബോർഡ് തന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. Really, electricity board has not submitted a request to the regulatory commission. 2020-ലും 2021-ലും ഒരു ഉത്തരവുണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ട്. It is from the Union Ministry and there is an amendment in 2021. They said clearly that those consumers who are having above 500 kilowatt must install that gross metering or net billing. Gross metering എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഇലക്ട്രിസിറ്റി ബോർഡോ അനർട്ടോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ഏജൻസിയും ഒരു കൺസ്യൂമറിനെയും ഇംപ്ലിമെന്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ കഴിയില്ല. ഇതാക്കാൻ കഴിയില്ല. It is not a mandatory thing. Unless and until as a consumer or beneficiary, you opt that I need gross metering. Fine, well and good. I don't want gross metering. Nobody can pursue you. But net billing is something different. If the utility say net billing has to be implemented, it has to be implemented. Because of that order only, we are forced to submit a request to the regulatory commission. If you are not submitting a request to the regulatory commission, next time when you go for a tariff revision or a tariff change, they will ask us why you did not submit the request there. Now we submitted, there was a hearing, most of the people might have participated in that. They clearly ordered that not even 500, more than 1000 kilowatt capacity will be coming under the purview of gross metering or net billing. So that challenge is not there again. Forget about it. So that has been crossover. How many of you know green cess and electricity duty? Are we getting electricity duty from you? No. See, there is a rule. Always the rule persists. There is a policy. Solar policy will be, whatever policy will be coming down only. There is an MOP notification that will be again down. So there must be a clear understanding between what is a rule, what is a regulation, what is a policy, and what is a notification. So the regulation clearly says that, or the rule says, you can get electricity duty on a very small 0.12 paise per unit. And for those people who are producing the energy by themselves, they can go for a cess. If it is solar or wind, it can be a green cess. എന്തിനാ ഒരു സോളാർ മീറ്റർ കണക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടല്ലോ? Have you ever thought that why such a meter is being installed? And we are taking a reading with a great struggle. Why? What for? This is for noting down how much the production is there from the rooftop, from your plant. What for that production is needed? That is for charging you a green cess. But we are taking the reading, but we are not imposing any green cess. Why? Even though there is a rule and even the regulation allows, because of the solar policy which we are following now, we are not charging any green cess upon the consumers. But it is very old. Solar policy is 2013. I think you were there, the meeting conducted by Power Secretary last week. Said that Power Secretary has gone to Delhi and Mr. Jyotiraj Sir is in charge of this. Said that clearly there is no amendment of this policy and all. This is outdated. You just make a new solar policy. Let us say solar policy 2022 or 2023, whatever it is. So it is true now. So according to that solar policy, I was discussing, there's a green cess. We have taken a decision, no green cess, we will not be imparting this. Even though the reading is being taken from the solar meter, we are not imposing this. Then the electricity duty. Electricity duty, actually, we are not at all taking from the consumers. We have submitted, there was a meeting with the Power Secretary and all the team, and we said that, see, electricity duty is very little. Those people, LT consumers, there is no electricity duty at all now being charged. But for those consumers who are having a high megawatt added capacity, yes, electricity duty will be there, we can verify the bill. But so far, electricity duty is not being taken. Now, in this context, what we have to discuss is that when you will start taking, now you are not taking, when you will take, question number one. Number two, now gross metering is not there, net billing is not there. When the next one will start, all this question will end up in a bus stop which says that purchase obligation. Renewable purchase obligation. Now, whatever your demand is there, 20%, 21.5 is the exact figure. 21.5% of the total demand will be from the renewable energy. So far, the regulation clearly says up to this year, it is 10.5% of that from the solar, 10.5% from the non-solar. But 0.99% has added for 22-23 by the regulation. But last week there was a ministry notification saying that the entire scenario has changed. There is no solar added up specifically says. It clearly says that number one, 2022 മാർച്ചിന് ശേഷമുള്ള wind plant നിങ്ങൾക്ക് RPO ആയിട്ട് കൂട്ടാം. Means that 72 megawatt now added up in the wind count ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല. Number two, hydel projects, രണ്ടെണ്ണം ഉണ്ട്, small hydel as well as large hydel. Small hydel projects, അതായത് 25 megawatt capacity താഴെയുള്ള projects which we call the small hydel projects, this can be added up which after 2019 installed. മൂന്നാമത്തെ point, whichever is not coming under the above two heads can be added as a RPO. അതായത് സോളാർ പറയുന്നില്ല, അത് സോളാർ ആവാം, ഹൈഡൽ ആവാം, സ്മോൾ ഹൈഡൽ എന്ത് വേണമെങ്കിലും ആകാം. ഞങ്ങളുടെ മൂലമറ്റത്തെ പ്ലാന്റിന്റെ കപ്പാസിറ്റി ഒക്കെ നിങ്ങൾക്കറിയാം. മൂഴിയാറുണ്ട്, മൂലമറ്റം phase 2 വരുന്നുണ്ട്. ഞങ്ങളുടെ കാൽക്കുലേഷൻ എന്താണെന്ന് അറിയുമോ? 22-23 ഇങ്ങനെ റെഗുലേഷൻ, അതായത് MOP ആയി. If regulators approve this, RPO is already met. See the challenge here. RPO is already met. എന്തിനാ ഇലക്ട്രിസിറ്റി ബോർഡ് ഈ പറയുന്ന പോലെ സീറോ ഇത് പ്രൊമോട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നതെന്നൊരു ചോദ്യം അവിടെ നിൽക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. ഐ ആം നോട്ട് പേയിങ് എ സിംഗിൾ പെന്നി, സിംഗിൾ പൈസ ഇലക്ട്രിസിറ്റി ചാർജ്. ഇതിൽ സോളാർ ഇൻസ്റ്റാൾ ചെയ്ത് 3 കിലോവാട്ട് ഇൻസ്റ്റാൾ ചെയ്ത അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു 4 കിലോവാട്ട് ഇൻസ്റ്റാൾ ചെയ്ത ആരെടുത്ത് ചോദിച്ചാലും അതർ ദാൻ ദ മീറ്റർ റെന്റ് ആൻഡ് ദിസ് വൺ ദേ ആർ നോട്ട് പേയിങ് എ സിംഗിൾ പൈസ ആസ് ദി ഇലക്ട്രിസിറ്റി ചാർജസ് ഫ്രം ദ ഡൊമസ്റ്റിക് സെക്ടർ. പ്രൈവറ്റിൽ കമേഴ്സിൽ വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഈവൻ ഫോർ ദം ഓൾസോ ദ സെയിം. അപ്പോൾ പിന്നെ ഈ നഷ്ടം എങ്ങനെ മേക്കപ്പ് ചെയ്യും? നഷ്ടമുണ്ടെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ultimately it will go to your head as well as my head as a consumer or a prosumer. Is it not? So that is a big challenge coming up. Purchase obligation എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് ഇനി വരുമ്പോൾ purchase obligation is ultimate. Then why you want to make like that? Not Saura. My ambition, dream is to install the green energy. But there's a wing called commercial or tariff regulatory affairs track. All these people, they will put back as question, sir, this is the case. Then why you want to invest more? Subsidy is giving, why you want to go for that? That answer we have to address within the electricity board itself. Finally, we have to take it with the government and other alert as well as EMC, and we have to mitigate this. So a very big, cannot be a challenge. It is a giant thing which is before us. And we have many challenges where there. Testing was a challenge. Each plant going and testing is a big challenge for us. So it has been taken up by government. And 50 kilowatt and below, if the inverter is having a BAS certificate, we are exempted the testing. Only random testing is needed. So all the measures has been set in position by KCB Limited to promote this. ഞാൻ ഈ പറഞ്ഞ ഒന്നും ഒരു നെഗറ്റീവ് പോയിന്റ്സ് ആയിട്ട് എടുക്കരുത്. Whatever the challenges we are facing or whatever the economic issues behind it, we will be moving forward with our policy itself. So we had already planned a pipeline projects of 3,500 megawatt to complete by 2027. Already 1,000 will be added in this financial year. Another 2,000 plus will be added by 2027 by wind, by solar, by hybrid and small hydro as well. So no policy, gross metering or net billing will not be implemented in the near future, and cess and other electricity duty will not be there unless and until we reach a certain area. When and where I cannot say, but not in the near future. So this is the challenges which I would like to put before you for your information and guidance. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, put forward a lot of challenges, but there was one more word attached to that, opportunities. I'll come back to you. I think you need to spell out some opportunity also, positives.